So the finale of Tokyo Ghoul Route A has arrived. Now there's a couple things I want to talk about. Let me talk about some of the positives for starters. That Unravel remake or whatever was amazing. That little solo vocalist was really, really good. That was probably one of the highlights of the entirety of the episode. The art looked beautiful as well, and some of the scenes or whatever looked kind of cool, whatever. But in comparison to the manga, and the reason why I'm doing this, because normally I mention them, but I don't really like to do it, but the ending, this episode, whatever, it was alright. It was alright to good. It was, it was a decent ending. But in comparison to what they did in this manga right here, this bad boy, it doesn't. Honestly, like, the ending of here, it was decent. It kind of made me give a little bit more of a fuck about Hide than I ever did, because I never cared about him. I've said it in previous reviews, so it made him a little bit more relevant. The whole Toka thing was done nicely as well. There were some decent things to it, but, like, for starters, what was up with Kaneki walking with Hide for like 5 minutes? And I get where they were going with it. They were trying to be symbolic. They were trying to showcase change and everything, with constantly looking at his hair going from black to white or whatever. It was all trying to be very symbolic with the symbolism and whatnot. But in comparison to what this, like, I will tell you right now, go read the manga. Go read the 14 volumes and then go read Tokyo Ghoul Re, because unless, which they were kind of hinting that they might do a season 3. For those that are wondering, is there going to be a season 3? There might be. There might be. Not now, but maybe within a year. Maybe a year or two or whatever. Once there's enough material from Tokyo Ghoul Re for them to do one, we might get a season 3 or whatever. But honestly, the ending with the cliffhanger of whether or not Ken Kaneki is dead was just done a hell of a lot better, the way it was handled in here than it was in there. Like, Arima looked like a beast, and the shit that goes down in here, you don't even get to see in the anime. And again, I think that's partially due to them rushing things and whatnot. So for starters, in the beginning with Hide talking to Kaneki, which it was like a little bit, trying to be a little bit more intimate, these friends of how it all began and how it's all ending and whatnot. Why didn't Kaneki, the entire time they were there, realize that blood is gushing out of this dude and, like, try and grab him and save him or whatever? It's just there, like, he's a ghoul, so he can smell that shit, and he probably get extra hungry or whatever, just, hearing that and smelling that or whatever. And he's just kind of like, yo, you're my friend and you're bleeding out, but I can't tell, and I'm just going to talk to you. So I was kind of like, what the fuck? And it was decent, like, the way they were doing it, as far as, like, trying to bring how it all began to where it's at now and how they've changed and everything. But it just felt like, why doesn't he fucking realize that he's dying there? I get it that it's dark or whatever, but you have ears and you have a nose and you're a ghoul and he's a human and he has human blood dripping out of him. So, and I think the way they handled the whole Hide thing as well, with him not being there, because I'm trying to be very fair with this one, like, Hide not being around or whatever, it was because he was trying to do his thing because he felt like an outcast and he wanted to be a part of them, so he was going every which way to become a part of what was going on. So it kind of made a little bit more up for the fact that Hide wasn't really around, and it's kind of like, it was always saying, yeah, this is my best friend, this and that, but we never got to see it in action, like them actually being best friends since the beginning, pretty much. So them bringing that back, where it's kind of like, yeah, I knew all along and I just wanted to be a part of it, makes a little bit more like he was trying to go his own route to be back in Kaneki's life. But yet again, the scene with him carrying him, while it looked gorgeous, the art looked beautiful, the animation was really good as well. That scene just was so long of him holding him, walking, and all the soldiers and troops looking at him. It was kind of like, yeah, why is this going on for so long? And yet again, that Unravel theme, just saying, that was the best part of it. Like, the Unravel thing with the slow walking and whatever, it was supposed to mesh well, and it felt good, but it just felt like, I think they went too artsy. Honestly, they went too artsy in sacrificing the exposition of everything that's going on, and just kind of like trying to make you, well, assume, okay, this is what's happening and this is what's about to happen, whatever. And to a certain degree, leaving it vague is good, but I don't know. And honestly, I would have liked to see Ken Kaneki versus Arima, regardless of what happened, because again, we're under the assumption that he's dead at this particular point at the end of the episode, because you just see the sword on the ground and Arima standing there and Kaneki's not. But yeah, they should have showed something. They should have showed a little bit more of actually what went down. You can assume it was a massacre, but that's all you can really do, is assume. And I think the best part of everyone, like, everyone had tragedy except Toka, and I think she was the one that truly deserved to not be in tragedy, because she wanted a normal life, and that's all she ever tried for, and Yomo made sure that that happened. So I guess out of everybody's tragic, endings and whatnot, she didn't have to, suffer from that, and that's where her character was built up. So if Rude did any justice for her character, it was Toka. But with all that being said, for an ending, again, and I'm talking about it because not only just comparing it to the manga, just on its own, it was still an alright to good, ending, but it should have just been so much more, especially with everything that's been built up and what Sui Ishida did in this final volume. Like, this final volume, I tell you, this final volume is insane. I was depressed when I finished this. With this, I'm just kind of like, maybe they'll do Tokyo Ghoul Re Season 3 some given point, but yeah. So I guess I was just underwhelmed with this ending. It wasn't that it was a bad ending. It was alright, but it just could have been so much more. That's what I'm trying to say with this final review. I still love Tokyo Ghoul, still love the anime, still love the manga to death, but that's where I stand with the finale. Let me know what you guys think. I love to hear feedback and opinions. Do you enjoy the finale? Did you think it was really good? If you're a manga reader, how did you feel in comparison to the manga and the way it was done? Do you think that it was too vague? What about the walking? Like, what is your opinion on the finale of Tokyo Ghoul Rude? And do you think the way it was done that we'll eventually, within a year or two, get Tokyo Ghoul Season 3 Re? And do you think at the end of this one, Ken Kaneki was dead or what? And your overall thoughts of Rude as a whole. As a whole, Rude was a pretty damn enjoyable ride. It wasn't like the same vibe I got from Season 1. They definitely changed a lot of things, but still, nonetheless, it was pretty fucking awesome. And some of the action scenes were epic as hell. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And hopefully I see you guys on my Tokyo Ghoul Re manga chapter reviews. Oshie te o.